You ever look at a $20 million check and just feel absolutely nothing but exhaustion? That's where Jasmine Taylor found herself, staring at the settlement from Sky High Airways, 6 months after her son Andre, just 14, was tossed on Flight 1372 because he asked to use the bathroom. Yeah, that happened. That day changed everything, not just for the Taylor family, but for the whole damn airline industry. And before we get lost in the legal drama and the headlines, let me ask, what would you have done if you were there? Sat back and filmed? Or stood up and said, "This ain't right? Let me back up a sec." June 15th started like any other day for the Taylors. Andre, who's all nerves and bright ideas, was packing for his very first flight. He was so thorough. Headphones, books, his dad's old travel journal, everything triple-checked. "Mom, do the clouds look different from above?" he'd asked, wide-eyed. And Jasmine just smiled, watching her boy try to act grown but still clinging to childhood wonder. They were heading to Boston to visit colleges, Harvard, Boston College, the kind of places a kid like Andre could actually get into, if the world let him dream big enough. Samuel Taylor, Andre's dad, wasn't coming on this leg. He was tied up with a huge civil rights case back in Atlanta, defending folks who'd been shut out of jobs for all the old, ugly reasons. "Remember everything," he'd told Andre, "and report back when I join you." Typical dad, always teaching, always expecting. The drive to Hartsfield-Jackson was easy, check-in was smooth, and at the gate Andre scribbled notes in his journal, trying to capture the swirl of people, colors, and stories all around him. Then came the boarding call. The flight attendant at the door, her name tag said Brenda Wilson, lit up with smiles for a white couple celebrating their anniversary, even promised them a dessert, but her face went stiff and cold for Jasmine and Andre. No eye contact, just a clipped boarding passes. Andre noticed, didn't say much. He'd seen the look before to eye in their row. Andre quietly pointed out to Jasmine how Brenda acted warm with white passengers and got all sharp with black folks. Jasmine just said, "Some people carry their baggage everywhere." She was right. Andre buried himself in the safety card, watching Atlanta fall away beneath the clouds, dreaming about the future. About an hour in, the captain warned about turbulence, seatbelt sign on. Andre waited, tried to ignore his bladder, watched a white teenager slip up and use the bathroom. Brenda didn't say a word to him. 15 minutes later, Andre couldn't hold it. He got up, whispered to Jasmine, and before he got 3 steps, Brenda blocked him. "Seatbelt signs on. Return to your seat." Andre, always polite, tried to explain, "I saw others go. I'll be quick." She shut him down, voice rising. "Are you questioning my authority?" Now, heads were turning, and Jasmine stood up to advocate for her son. Brenda cut her off. "Ma'am, I need your son to comply with safety regulations." The air in that cabin got real tight, you know what I mean? Some passengers looked away, a few started filming. Andre, confused and embarrassed, tried to make sense of it. Then Brenda reached into her pocket. Out came a taser. Before anyone could move, she fired. 2 prongs hit Andre. Electricity shot through his small frame, and he dropped, convulsing, crying out, his body losing control. Jasmine screamed, dove to his side, nurse instincts kicking in. The cabin was chaos. She tossed him. "She tossed that kid," someone yelled, and phones went up everywhere. Brenda tried to justify herself. He was aggressive and non-compliant. But even people who'd stayed silent started pushing back. Walter Green, a retired black principal, stood up and called it. "I saw the whole thing. That boy did nothing wrong." A businessman tried to defend Brenda, muttering about threats, but the whole plane saw the truth. Andre came to, humiliated, tears streaming down his face, his body twitching, Jasmine holding him, begging for help. Then Air Marshal Henderson appeared, flashed a badge, told Andre to stay calm, but barely addressed Brenda or the taser. Jasmine was furious. Her son needed medical care, not more intimidation. Walter and others challenged the crew, the divide in the cabin sharp as a knife. Some folks blaming Andre, others outraged at Brenda's double standard. the captain announced an emergency landing in Philadelphia. Jasmine texted Samuel, "Emergency, Andre tossed on plane, need you now," and attached a video that was already spreading online. Samuel saw the footage during a courtroom recess. He didn't say a word, just walked out, got on the first plane to Philly. At the gate, police and airline officials came storming in. Brenda spun her story about an aggressive passenger, and the police, hands on holsters, asked Andre to come with them. Jasmine tried to intervene. "My son is the victim," she pleaded. The officer cuffed Andre anyway, walked him out in front of first class, a trembling black kid, handcuffed, sobbing, while half the plane filmed or looked away. Some passengers, including Walter, exchanged numbers, vowing to testify at the hospital. Andre was treated for electrical burns and heart trouble. Still, the officer kept calling him the suspect. On TV, the story split. One side said, "Teen subdued after threatening flight attendant." The other, "Black boy tossed for bathroom request." Social media exploded. Hashtag Justice for Andre trended, but so did hashtag Support Brenda. Would you have spoken up or just filmed? Yeah, that's the question. Detective Morrison tried to pressure Jasmine at the hospital. Don't make this about race. Kids can be disruptive. Flight attendants have bad days. Maybe your son should just let it go. Jasmine wasn't having it. He did nothing wrong except be black in the wrong seat. Morrison threatened charges for interfering with a flight crew. Before Jasmine could answer, Samuel arrived, all calm steel. "Are you threatening my client's son, detective?" Morrison backed down, but the message was clear. This wasn't going to be quick or easy. Samuel hired Eleanor Pierce, a relentless investigator who uncovered Brenda's history. Repeated complaints from black passengers, all swept under the rug by her boss, Richard Collins, a man with a long record and, turns out, tight connections to the Philly police. The more they dug, the uglier it got. Whistleblowers came forward. Olivia Martinez, a fellow flight attendant, risked everything to reveal Collins' unofficial passenger management policy, racial profiling, secret tasers, targeted intimidation. They told us who to watch, black men and boys at the top of the list. The FBI, led by Agent Dominic Washington, quietly opened a federal investigation, confirming the systemic bias Samuel suspected. Meanwhile, Sky High launched a campaign to destroy Andre's reputation. Fake stories in tabloids, online smears, threats against the family, even getting Jasmine's nursing license reviewed. Walter Green lost his part-time teaching job after standing up for Andre. Olivia had to go into hiding. The Taylors switched hotels after receiving threats. Despite it all, Samuel pressed on. He turned down multiple settlement offers, determined to see the case in open court, not just for Andre, but for every black kid who ever got treated like a threat. The trial was brutal. Sky High tried to frame it as a misunderstanding, just one bad apple. But witness after witness, expert after expert, laid bare the truth. This was no accident. It was the product of a culture that treated black passengers as inherently dangerous. Brenda, Collins, even CEO Matthews had to admit, under oath, that unauthorized tasers were issued to select staff, with racial profiling at the heart of their security approach. FBI testimony made the federal scope clear. In the end, the jury found for the Taylors, on every count, $20 million in compensatory damages, $50 million punitive. Judge Harrington referred the case for criminal investigation. That verdict changed everything. Sky High was forced to restructure. Executives faced charges, whistleblowers got new jobs and reform commissions, and airlines nationwide had to report bias complaints by law. Andre started a foundation for victims. Samuel launched a pro bono unit for transportation discrimination cases. Jasmine devoted herself to trauma care for youth. A year later, when Andre finally took another flight to testify before Congress about his experience, the world felt different. No one stopped him from using the bathroom. Flight attendants treated every kid with the same basic dignity. As they landed, Andre looked at his parents and whispered, "We did it, didn't we?" Samuel smiled. You made a difference. So here's what I want to ask you. Now that you've heard the whole story, if you see injustice, do you speak up like Walter Green? Or do you stay silent and hope it passes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share if you believe stories like Andre's matter. And if you've ever witnessed discrimination and regret not acting, now's the time to let your voice be heard. Because as the Taylors showed, justice starts with just one person refusing to be silent.